Brooke Bailey didn't walk in looking for pity. She came prepared, calm but direct, and her words immediately changed the mood in the room. "He locked me in that hotel room," she said, and just like that, the energy shifted. This wasn't a storyline made for reality TV or a publicity stunt. It felt real. She talked about being stuck, her phone taken, the door blocked. She said he told her she couldn't leave until he allowed it. And she wasn't talking about a made-up situation. She was talking about Jim Jones, a real person, not a character, not an exaggeration. Brooke looked exhausted. Her voice was low, her nails broken, and her face showed signs of someone who'd been through a lot. "I begged," she said quietly, admitting she wasn't sure she'd make it out alive. That's how serious it got. Online, people started whispering rumors about hotel security footage, vanishing, and payoffs behind the scenes. But Brooke wasn't hiding. She's standing her ground, holding onto proof that, if revealed, could seriously damage Jim Jones's public image. The question everyone's asking is whether Jim really did what she claims. Or is this some dramatic payback turned into a media storm? One thing is clear, this isn't just gossip anymore. This could cost someone their reputation or even lead to legal action. When Brooke spoke publicly, she didn't look like the usual TV-ready personality. She wasn't dressed up. There was no glam squad, no lighting, crew, just her, shaken, her eyes glassy, her face tight. If she's telling the truth, then Jim didn't just push the limits, he ignored them completely. It all picked up steam when a blurry video popped up on social media. Brooke was in a hotel hallway wearing a bathrobe and yelling. Her hair was a mess and she was clearly upset, crying out that she needed her phone. Near her was a man in a hoodie with his face partly covered, but the way he moved, the jewelry, his build, people were convinced it was Jim Jones. Some thought maybe it was an old video or even a scene from a reality show. But then Brooke went live. Her eyes were red and she was clearly upset. She said, "He put me in there and wouldn't let me leave. I thought I was going to die." That's when everything exploded. People started debating if this was real or staged until Brooke confirmed that it had just happened within the past few days and that she had proof. So now everyone was paying attention. Brooke and Jim had history, just not the type you see. On camera, they had something going on quietly for about 8 months, according to people close to them. They were spotted traveling privately, going out to dinner, and Brooke even appeared on his VH1 show once. It all seemed casual until one night in Las Vegas when things took a turn. Brooke said it started after she saw messages from another woman on Jim's phone. When she confronted him, she says he took her phone, blocked the door, and told her she wasn't going anywhere. Think about that. A man with fame and influence allegedly forced someone to stay in a room against her will. And this didn't happen years ago, it was recent. Jim hasn't commented, hasn't posted anything, but according to people around him, he's panicking. Rumors say he called the hotel and asked about turning off hallway cameras. When that didn't work, some say 2 security guards were paid to make the footage vanish. One of those guards was reportedly fired the next day. Strange, right? Brooke says she was locked in for over 6 hours. No phone, no food, no help. She says she tried leaving twice. The first time, she claims he physically stopped her. The second time, she says, he threw a lamp against the wall to scare her into staying. She didn't go to the hospital, but on her live stream, she showed bruises on her arms. She says those marks came from him grabbing her as she tried to get past. This isn't just some messy breakup drama starting to sound like something the law might get involved in. A lot of people asked the same thing. Why didn't she go straight to the police? Brooke said she was scared. She says Jim threatened her, saying he could end her career, make her look unstable, and make sure no one believed her, and she admitted something that hit people hard. She started to doubt herself. For someone like Brooke, known for being confident and outspoken, that kind of self-doubt was unexpected. She said she sat alone in the bathroom of the hotel, crying, wondering if that would be the end of her story. She was terrified that if she screamed too loudly, things could get even worse. This wasn't just a misunderstanding. If Brooke's telling the truth, then it's something much darker and dangerous. Later that day, Brooke's sister posted on Instagram, saying she hadn't heard from her and was about to file a missing persons report. Just as she picked up the phone to call for help, Brooke made her escape. According to Brooke, the moment everything changed came the next morning when a hotel maid showed up. Brooke ran right past her, barefoot, and bolted down the stairs 3 flights. She rushed to the front desk and begged for help. As for that maid, word is she's been moved to another role. No explanation, but people noticed online. People went into investigation mode. Another posted a video showing what looked like Jim Jones's SUV outside the same hotel 2 days earlier. The internet was buzzing. Even TMZ jumped on the story, waiting for the next twist. Then something new came out. There was apparently another woman involved. Someone had messaged Jim that night asking when Brooke would leave. Those messages are now online, supposedly from Jim's own phone. One said, "Still dealing with the drama. She's still here." That one message made it clear Brooke was being treated like a problem, not a person. Jim still hasn't responded publicly, but his team is working behind the scenes. Sources say his lawyers are preparing a full media plan. One insider even claimed Brooke was unstable and obsessed, trying to paint her as the villain in all of this. That seems to be a common strategy. When a woman speaks up, they call her crazy. But Brooke says she's been through worse and isn't afraid anymore. She says this time she's got receipts, screenshots, photos, audio recordings, all of it. She says she even managed to record part of the argument when Jim wasn't looking, and she's not bluffing. If anyone tries to spin the story or make her look bad, she's ready to release everything. The big question now is, will Brooke actually release the rest of the evidence? Because if that audio even slightly backs up her claim that Jim threatened her, it's no longer just gossip or online drama. It becomes a real legal issue. Charges like unlawful restraint, intimidation, or even assault could follow. And if that happens, Jim's public image won't just take a hit, it might be destroyed for good. This whole thing has gone way past reality show beef or personal arguments. It's serious, like courtroom serious, and it's no longer just Brooke versus Jim. It feels like she's standing up against a much larger system. Just when people thought things couldn't go any further, someone new stepped in. An anonymous source claimed they saw the whole thing and were ready to talk. Brooke spoke again and said, being in that hotel room wasn't just uncomfortable, it was mentally exhausting. She said Jim didn't touch her, but he didn't have to. The way he blocked the door, the way he just stood there without saying a word, it felt like psychological warfare. The guy who usually jokes around and raps with confidence had turned cold, distant, and scary. Then something happened that made people stop calling it a stunt. A hotel employee reportedly messaged a gossip blog right after Brooke's emotional live stream. They didn't say much, just sent a blurry screenshot from a hallway security camera. The timestamp read 2:47 a.m., the location right outside Suite 923. And in the shot, a man who looked just like Jim Jones, who'd pulled low, glancing around before walking into the room Brooke claimed she couldn't escape from. Before Brooke even had time to catch her breath, the internet caught fire again. The same people calling her dramatic or unstable suddenly went quiet. Jim's team started scrambling behind the scenes. This wasn't some promotional trick anymore, this was unraveling fast. But one comment kept popping up online. Where's Chrissy? Chrissy Lampkin, Jim's longtime fiancée, and a public figure herself, had been silent through it all. Sources say she found out the same way the rest of the world did, through social media. One of her friends even told her over the phone, "You better go see what your man's doing at the Hilton before TMZ gets it." Still, Chrissy didn't respond. She didn't post cryptic messages, no public statements, not even a shady quote. Just nothing. And that silence, it said a lot. More than any public rant ever could. People started looking into Jim's past. He's had drama with women before on shows, in the media, and behind the scenes. Some brushed it off, thinking it was just bad relationships or heated arguments. But this, locking someone in a room, that's not something you can just talk your way out of. Then came the audio. It wasn't the clearest, but it was enough. You could hear a man. Many said it was Jim talking low and fast. "I told her to chill." She didn't say she was scared. "I didn't touch her," that's what the voice said. It sounded tired, maybe even panicked. Some people believed it had been edited. Others were convinced it was a real-time recording, capturing him trying to talk his way out of what just happened. Online forums blew up. Viewers slowed down the audio and noticed something small in the background. What? Sounded like an old episode of Martin playing on TV. It might sound random, but that detail matched Brooke's story and the timing. Even the hotel carpet from the leaked video was matched to images of a Vegas resort. The internet was doing what it does best, digging deep. And while everyone was investigating, Brooke disappeared again. No tweets, no stories, no follow-ups. She vanished completely. That made her followers nervous. Was she okay? Was someone stopping her from talking? Some thought maybe she had been silenced. Others guessed her legal team told her to lay low. But nobody could have predicted what happened next. Exactly 1 week later, Brooke came back, but not how anyone expected. This time, she looked confident, calm, and completely different from her earlier emotional livestream. She appeared on a well-known YouTube talk show, not to cry, but to set the record straight. Her makeup was on point, her voice steady, her message clear. She wasn't backing down. She explained that at first she didn't want to speak publicly again, but the lies being spread online forced her to respond. And that's when she revealed another shocking detail. This wasn't just a random meet gone wrong. She said Jim had been planning to see her for weeks. He reached out multiple times, made it sound like they were going to work on something creative. He told her he respected her and wanted to collaborate on a project. It all sounded legit. So when they met at the hotel, she expected to have a normal conversation in the lobby. Instead, Jim told her to come up to his suite, saying they'd have more privacy. "It's quieter up here. You know how people gossip," he told her. But when she got up there, she said there was no meeting, just 4 hours of manipulation, mind games, and veiled threats. Brooke said he never laid a hand on her, but it didn't matter. The emotional pressure, the intimidation, was just as damaging. At one point, she claimed he looked her in the eye and said, "If you walk out of here, you'll never work again." That's the kind of thing that sticks with you. Her hands shook while she shared those details. Not from fear anymore, but from the weight of what she was finally saying out loud. She made it clear it wasn't about bruises or violence. It was about control. Quiet, calculated control that doesn't leave physical marks, but damages someone deeply. At this point, the conversation had shifted. It wasn't just about Brooke and Jim anymore. It was about how powerful men use silence, manipulation, and fear to protect themselves, and how women who speak out are often made to look crazy. The interview blew up. Over 2 million views in one day. People were sharing it everywhere. Companies started pulling back. A popular podcast canceled Jim's guest spot. A lifestyle brand removed all traces of him from their site, like he'd never been involved. Then came the twist no one expected. The hotel where it all allegedly went down released a real statement, not just a tweet-on official press release. They confirmed that security responded to a noise complaint at Suite 923 the night Brooke mentioned. They knocked on the door, but no one answered. That small piece of information was all the internet needed. It didn't prove everything, but it confirmed that something strange happened that night. Now, public curiosity turned into full-blown suspicion. If Jim had nothing to hide, why hasn't he said anything? Why is Chrissy still silent? Why has his whole team gone underground? Under pressure, Jim's lawyers finally took action. They sent a cease and desist letter to the YouTube channel that hosted Brooke's interview. They demanded it be removed or they'd take legal steps, but that move totally backfired. The moment news of the threat got out, Brooke's interview spread like wildfire all over again. Every corner of the internet lit up. YouTubers, gossip blogs, TikTok breakdowns, and even meme pages reposted clips of her calm, focused appearance on the show. This wasn't just another celebrity drama anymore. This was real, raw, and serious, and people could feel it. What followed was a storm of legal action. Lawsuits started flying in every direction. Sources claimed Chrissy Lampkin, Jim Jones' longtime fiancé, had begun packing her things. Meanwhile, Brooke was preparing to take this to court. If the evidence she holds is legit, Jim won't just lose deals with lifestyle brands or podcast slots. He could face criminal charges, real ones, even with all the online noise jokes, hot takes, and conspiracy threads. The situation reached another level when someone from inside the hotel finally spoke.